Hey guys, it's Casey with Errant Gaming, and I'm going to be doing a deck profile of my deck that I did at the Missoula Cup that we went to recently. I played Buzzwole Lycanroc, and I took 4th place, kind of by proxy, because me and the guy that was in 3rd had the same tie, so we're just like, random number generator, and I got 4th, but oh well. It's still a really strong deck, so let's go ahead and get started. We start off with a 3-line of the Buzzwole. I get asked all the time why I don't run Baby Buzzwole, because mainly I didn't think about it, to be quite honest, but this guy is really strong, and he's very aggressive right off the bat, first off. Because starting, you do Jet Punch for 30, and you can do 30 on your bench. Per se, you get something like a Regirock or a Diancie into there. You're doing 60 right onto your bench right there. It is incredibly, incredibly rough on your opponent when you can just knock out one of their Pokemon turn 2. Going from there, we run a 2-2 line of 2 Rockruff and 2 Lycanroc GX. This guy has come in clutch for me for a lot of games because there's a lot of board states with the current meta that a lot of people like to flood the board with a bunch of people. And then you just Dangerous Rogue to knock out their best thing, and then you have the superiority. This deck is a very, very fast and aggressive deck, and it's hard for a lot of people to handle, especially also if you really run into a struggle problem. You can just sit there and corner for the rest of the time if you really want to, and then you can't retreat. After that, here's our buff guys. So we have a singular Diancie Prism Star, as well as a 2-2 line of Regirock EX. With Diancie, it gives a plus 20 to your attack, and as Regirock, I had to run a 2-2, so it's plus 20. So essentially, I can get 40 without having anything extra on top of it, which is very, very powerful. So once this rotates out, it's going to hit my deck really hard, but it's still a very powerful deck. Then the kind of sleeper agent for my deck that everyone seems to like, Sudowoodo. Because it is hilarious when you go against someone like, for example, Glaceon, and they decide to use their GX, and then you play Sudowoodo, and you use their GX against them. It's just one of those cards where it comes in handy, especially because a lot of my deck is weak to either Psychic or Grass. So with this, it makes it a little bit harder to hit him, unless you're playing, like, for example, a water deck and it's double damage. But it comes in handy sometimes. We have our Draw Engines, which is a 2-2 line of Remoraid and Octillery. With Abyssal Hand, it's a very, very good card. It's Sushi Master, as from what I've been told by a lot of the people that I listen to. He's pretty dope, because you can just be having one card in hand, and you're like, oh, I have Octillery in hand, Abyssal for 5. And it's dumb. And with most decks, as opposed to having like a 2-line, I only run a singular Tapu Lele, because with my deck, I really don't want to have Tapu Lele clogging up the space, because I want, like, for example, my Regirocks, my Diancie's on the field, so that I can just buff and just keep smacking face for the entire time. That's it for the Pokemon in here. Let's get into the trainers. For starters, a guy that's probably going to be rotating out, and I'm actually really sad that he's rotating out. I run a 4-line of Sycamore, so you can just go through your hand, get the pieces you need. If you really want to sacrifice it and risk it to take the biscuit, you can just dump your hand if it's not worth it and get the pieces you need just fast and rapid pace. We also run a 4-line of Guzma, and I get asked every time, why do I run so much removal in this deck? It's because, mainly, you don't want to have problem children when you're fighting this deck, because you just want to get the easy knockouts, get stuff that you know you're going to be able to knock out instantly within that turn. Then I run a 2-2 line of our Semi-Dry Engine. The other card that's rotating out is an N, and then I also run the new card Cynthia. Mainly because with this deck, you have the effect of N, but you only do it on yourself. So if you're, for example, your opponent's having a really tough time and they have only 2 cards in hand, you just run that guy and boom, you have a really good hand going for you. As with most Pokemon decks, it's kind of an essential. We run a 4-line of Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball will get you what you need, discard and stuff. 4-line of Choice Band is what I go for, because I go against a lot of decks that are GX or EX. EX not so often, but GX I just start smacking for even more damage, because it puts another 30 on top of whatever else I'm boosting. Then the kinda works, kinda doesn't work in my deck figure. I run a full playset of Max Elixir. For Max Elixir, I just I need to get energy, and if I can't get it through my hand, I just do max elixir until I can get something going. Because essentially what you need for Buzzwole is you need 3 energy on him to start smacking face for games. I also run a kind of heavy-handed 3-line of Floatstone. Floatstone comes in handy a lot, especially if you're going against, like, for example, the one that's in the meta right now is Necrozma Malamar. I have weakness against that deck, so it's a really hard matchup for me. So if I need to pull out and recharge this guy up using, for example, if I wanted to Diancie to just sit there and heal my Buzzwoles for 30 damage each time, I can do so. Now onto my stadiums. I only run one stadium, and it's a 3-line of Brooklet Hill, because this card has gotten me a lot of games. Because I go in, I'll have Brooklet Hill in hand, I'll look up, if I don't have Buzzwole in hand, I'll put Buzzwole on the field, and then people are just like, ugh, Buzzwole again. And that's it for my trainers. So we'll go on to the energy base. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fighting energy, and 4 strong energy. Strong energy is a really, really good card, especially when you stack it onto there. I remember I had a match when I was in Missoula where I put 3 of these guys on here, and I had my board loaded with 2 Regirocs, a Diancie, and a Choice Band, and I hit this guy for 260 damage in 1 turn. Alrighty, and that is it for my deck tech. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck list, and if you guys would like, comment, and subscribe, that would really be helpful for us. If you guys want anything else too, don't forget to hit the bell icon in here so you can get reminded whenever we posted a video. And as always, this is Casey signing out for Errant Gaming. Have a good day.